In esports, we are still at the beginning, and giving context to data is super complex. Technology and stats and insights can really help doing that.
Before kicking off the game, we said that the draft looked somewhat even. For the most part, we were split on the desk as to who maybe had a little bit of favor on their side. But once we get into the game, the question I want to ask is, was that the case? Or did it look like the draft was maybe better for Sirius than we expected?
Well, certainly the way that they played it was a lot better than I expected. The moment that I knew that Sirius was going to win this game, not that consequential in the overall grand scheme, but 16 minutes, 30 seconds in, StarLadder Naga Siren is solo pushing the bottom Radiant Tier 2 tower, forces a rotation by 3 NIP heroes, uses Song to get out. Most of the time when we talk about Naga, we're all guilty about this on the panel, the stereotype is this is a hero that wants to hit creeps, get those big items up, and then dominate in the late game. They used Naga Song not defensively as a reset button, but offensively to apply pressure around the map, and it was actually the ASD Leshrac that was leading in farm by the end of the game. I thought Sirius just had a great game plan here and executed it incredibly well.
I think part of it came from improvisation, though. I didn't expect Lion to have such effective rotations against a Treant Protector and a Shadow Shaman on the enemy team, but everything was panning out so well that I think that Sirius was just like, let's just play it early, you know? Like, don't give this Treant Protector time to heal up structures. We're just gonna start rushing down towers, make a bunch of rotations, make this Shadow Shaman waste his wards in useless spots, and never really give NIP a chance to take any buildings of their own.
I agree with that. I just think I think that's part of the point is that if you, in context, if you look at a lot of the criticism that StarLadder has copped in the last couple of years and even this season is that he's a player that he gets an advantage and he thinks, okay, I'm going to use this advantage to have another couple minutes to fall back and farm. And especially on a hero like a Naga Siren, a lot of even the top level players will do that. And I really like the fact that in this game, Sirius made a conscious decision with that early advantage off those rotations to just play on the NIP side of the map. This is a lineup, right? You're playing a Troll, Ember, Brew, Tricore lineup, and at 25 minutes in, you have taken one tier 1 tower and you've given up all of your outer towers. That's just
something
you're not
has gone
win.
wrong.
Yeah, and I think the word improv is definitely one that we want to be thinking about here because it seemed like they saw an opening and they were able to crack it even wider open, and it's a story of execution more so than the draft.
Which is something that I was very apprehensive about for Sirius. This is a roster that I had no real confident data against international teams, recently assembled, dropped one player, and Injolite came out in spades. Like, I had no issues whatsoever. Made Treant Protector feel utterly useless a lot of the times. He was getting vision above the trees, and he was burning through living armor like nobody's business.
Yeah, and that was an interesting pick, too. I mean, that was the first thing that we actually saw locked in the draft as well. How did you feel about the Treant Protector, Nas?
There was a Treant Protector in the game.
Supposedly.
I mean, you're seeing him on screen dying there, but no, the Treant just had very, very little game impact, and that, again, that is partially due to the Batrider, which was a very, very good last pick, as Tsunami pointed out during the pregame panel. But I underestimated, and I think NIP did too, the tempo at which Sirius was going to be able to play this game. And you have these two players in ASD and Tianming that have shown world-class ability this season, and I thought they did a great job making space and putting those two players in positions to have a lot of impact in this particular game.
Dude, your boy Tianming even got like a 20-minute Ags or something
25-minute Lion
Ags.
Ags. I mean, okay.
Yeah, well, definitely in the first game, they've proven that they're an opponent that NIP is going to have to take seriously. And as we do continue,
we already did that one.
Yeah,
did I actually?
It's low-hanging fruit at this point.
Oh, man.
I think he did it twice. So.
I have enough jokes for 1.5 events. So this is it. I'm starting
it's
to
only
repeat
day
myself.
2, Rich. It's only day 2.
Don't worry. You're getting TI. You have plenty of time, dude. Hey, come on. This is officially become.
Honestly, if anybody's out there listening right now, I'd love a job. Anything. I'm pretty good with my hands. I can do pretty much.
No, right now, this right here, this is my Get Rich and Tsunami to TI9 beard.
Aw.
It is not getting shaved.
We got some good facial hair on the. We got some good.
We
facial
do.
hair on the-
I had to do it.
You
man.
gotta cop out like Slacks did with the no artifact update beard as well.
Hell no. Hell no.
That's my boy.
Yeah. Speaking of lore, we could actually dive into some of the intricacies of what happened in this series.
I mean, that, by the way, is nuts.
Yeah, I guess they're just eclipsing everyone.
And again, I mean, you watch this guy. This is one of the things that I did. I said to myself, I haven't seen this guy in a while, and I just watched a couple of his replays from CQ, and I mean, he's going blow for blow with mid one and Sumail and Lane, even though they lost those last 4 games at that particular tournament, and that was what kind of made me say, wow, this team may have a little bit more upside than this Aster roster.
Yeah, and I think that is something that we definitely do want to talk about. And also, I want to bring up that interview. It was something that I brought up instantly when I heard it in the interview. You heard it from NIP, them basically saying, Sirius may be one of the teams that could be big competition for us throughout the entire field of play. And I think your reaction, Tsunami, was like, I don't know if he's actually showing his hand here.
It's a safe call that when you don't know anything about a team that you're like, anything's possible. They could be amazing. And whenever you have a lot of competitive history with a team, then you're like, okay, I know what they're capable of. So there is there's a grain of truth, but at the same time, you usually look at a new roster and you're like, how confident could they even be playing on LAN? Obviously, the players have played on LAN, but this roster, this 5-man roster, has not done it together. So I don't know. I would be amazed if it's a 2-0 in the favor of Sirius, even though Sirius looked really good in game 1. I don't think NIP, unless PPD wants to be stubborn, will go for like a first pick Treant again.
Well, and I think it's not just about the draft. I think it's you came out and you underestimated the tempo at which the opponent was going to play.
Sure.
And we've seen this time and time again, even just this season. There are a lot of good teams that are going to get caught doing that. Particularly, we've talked a lot about the fact that this Sirius squad was just an unknown quantity.
Yeah, and you can see getting caught by that unknown, dropping a game, not too unexpected, but what do we think the rest of the series looks like before we do jump into this draft, Tsunami?
I don't know if Sirius showed so it was relatively high tempo, but again, I think that was something that they were playing by ear. I don't think they came into this draft picking a Naga Siren being like, our line's gonna get a 25-minute Ags, let's just go really, really fast. You are kind of forced to go a little bit fast against Treant Protector because you have to group up, otherwise you're never going to take any buildings because Living Armor is just going to heal them all up. And so if I learned anything about Sirius this game, it's that they're very good at adapting. And so that is my biggest confidence moving forward. But I think NIP also learned that, and they're going to pick heroes that are not very one-dimensional, like Treant Protector or Shadow Shaman, that are like if they don't get fights on their terms, then they're not useful.
No, I think that's really important to think about. You just saw, like you said, a team adapt in the middle of a game, find openings in the lineup, and exploit them. You need to bring things that have a little bit more than just one line of play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I just, again, NIP, we talked about the fact that they have so many tools in that draft toolkit for Peter. They've got Pycat in now as coach, a guy that they had a lot of success with playing with Optic last year at this event. I don't think they're gonna get caught in 2 games the same way. I don't think Sirius is gonna just be able to out tempo NIP in the second game.
Although I did appreciate that very savage lower third. That's the first time I've seen a lower third on a player showing their stats, and it's a 0 and 10 stat from PPD's Treant Protector.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to go back for it again. It was a fun experiment. And if he does, then I hope... Oh, okay. I'm much more okay with that.
By the way, that was a top 25 GPM on Leshrac going all the way back to 7-0.
ASD putting in work.
That's a pretty darn 735, I believe it was, sitting firmly in that top 25.
And that's why it's respect band this time.
Absolutely.
NIP do not want to let that Lesh go through.
Yeah, Lesh has been something that I feel like we've had to talk about a lot. Definitely having a big impact here in this StarLadder minor.
Now, this is an interesting open because ordinarily a lot of the teams that have been opening Pango, they've been opening like Pango 5 because 3-4 flex value is a lot of what you want when you're picking Pango early in the draft. Picking Pango and Shadow Shaman here, I don't know that NIP is going to run Fata Pango mid.
True, but 33 is more than happy to play mid if the situation arises.
Okay. So you're saying maybe what we're going to see is a 33 hero swap. Okay.
Right.
All
Yeah.
right.
Exactly.
All right.
Because we've seen him be very, very willing to take over mid if the
And,
matchup.
and Fata did play off lane last season.
Right,
This is a comfort zone for him. That's a really good point. So you wonder if Sirius is going to go back to the Warlock Grimstroke combo that we saw. Of course, a lot of great big AoE damagers. Even with the Leshrac out, the Sand King is still on the board.
Radiant team back.
Oh, and they're
snap.
going to take the Night Stalker away.
What a denial.
Wow.
Do they know how to play
team
Night
back.
Stalker is the real question.
I have not seen. I was looking through some of their drafts before. I did not see a Night Stalker game in any of their drafts before this tournament. But
Did he get any changes in the C patch?
C patch.
Night Stalker. I mean, the hero is obviously very strong, and it is a denial pick. It's just that you really need to know how to play around it. You can't just throw Night Stalker into
Night
any old
Stalker
draft.
was not changed
Okay.
in 7.22c.
So it's a good deny.
Yes.
Do we like it though?
So I like Night Stalker whenever it's played in some sort of vision sort of situation, because Night Stalker, his biggest tool set, aside from being extremely tanky early on, is that you make the enemy team very, very scared to move around the map. And whenever you have, like, I'm not okay with like a Warlock and Night Stalker yet, because I don't think Warlock takes advantage of Night Stalker's strengths. Warlock wants to be like, I'm just gonna go down a lane where everyone has vision because our creeps are moving around, and I will take a fight in front of a tower. Whereas Night Stalker is like, let's go creep around in their jungle a little bit, you know? Let's try to go behind towers and see what's going on over there.
Did they ever fix the thing where if you are in Night Stalker's silence radius and you BKB, the silence stays for like a second? Did they ever fix that?
I don't think so.
Because that's actually something that I'd noticed a couple times had caught a few players off guard. In
Yeah,
games.
I mean,
now
it's the same thing
typically
with Static
NIP is
Storm.
on the giving end of that,
Right.
not the receiving end.
Yeah, Static Storm and these aura-based silences have like a slight delay.
Yeah.
And so I'm not, because technically you're not dispelling anything when you activate a BKB, because there is no debuff on you. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think that it's been changed.
Okay, all right. No, that's actually really structurally. Aura Linger is
Right.
treated differently from other debuffs
Exactly.
in the game. So- okay, all right. It's a small thing, but I think when you're talking about Night Stalker against some of these team fight heavy lineups that NIP like to run, something like that can be relevant.
Yeah, especially if they go for something like Fata's Puck, because Puck definitely has issues with that if you want to try to get phase shift off. But I like NIP's bans. They're banning out other vision heroes, other pickoff heroes. The Bat Rider is good. I don't know if Sirius have like a Storm Spirit player, but it's very similar to like what we saw in the previous series with like, what would you like to pair with a Spirit Breaker? It's these heroes that can close distances very quickly. So you let Spirit Breaker be like the canary, and he goes in.
The canary, I like that.
And he goes into the coal mine and finds out if you can get a kill. And then if you find a good bash or something like that, someone immediately follows up. And I think Night Stalker is very similar in that regard. He'll just be prowling around enemy territory, and if he finds something, then someone else can come follow it up.
How telling will this be? We talked about, we wanted to figure out really what Sirius is able to do with everything that they're bringing here to this minor. Obviously, they have something to prove. When we start to see lineups like this coming together, is it starting to talk about what this team really does have potential-wise?
I think it's saying something here that Sirius is willing to really take it to NIP in the first phase of the draft. That's not something you would not, if there were going to be a big denial pick or twist thrown in the first phase, you'd expect it to come from the team on the right side.
Yeah. And it shows a lot of versatility that they're not, even though they won the game one in a very definitive fashion, they're not just going to rely on the same strategy. It's possible that the strategy was built around Leshrac, and since they don't have the Leshrac available because it was banned out first phase, they're like, all right, let's go in a different direction. But I have not seen very much Chinese Night Stalker to feel like, oh yeah, this is definitely, you know, a strategy of the region or something like that. It seems targeted at NIP.
Well, one of the big things that I liked in the last game is that apart from the last track, Sirius didn't necessarily have a classic pushing lineup, and they were very, very good at applying tower pressure.
But I
one of
think
the things I want to see in phase 2 is some push potential here.
I think that was partially because of the Treant Protector, though. Like, no matter what, if you
You just
have
think the Treant was that passive that...
Well, no, I think living armor is enough of an issue that, like, you have to push, because if you just have a few heroes popping in every once in a while, you're never going to take a tower.
Yeah, no, that's true. You have to, one of the things, you have to push, you can't play wide against Treant, you have to push deep against Treant. And there's this, I thought this was going to be their open, the Warlock Sand King, but they save it to phase 2. That's the only problem now is that you are definitively 3 through 5, right, for Sirius, and NIP still has a bit of flex value in their pocket here.
Though North America likes one position Night Stalker. That's a Mason's specialty, apparently.
I don't know about this. I don't know about that, my friend.
So I was jumping in the chat really quick, taking a peek at everything that they were saying, and
are you farming emotes again, Rich?
No, I'm not at all.
Okay.
But so they were starting to talk about the lineup that Sirius does have, and they were kind of saying that maybe it looks like it is just cute, and maybe it is just a cutie lineup. Do you think that this is just maybe a little bit of an IIL lineup?
So you were not farming emotes by reading the chat, but you're farming emotes by talking about the chat, is what you're telling me.
I'm doing my job right now. I'm asking
not
two people
so,
who know.
One of the things that I think you get with just a Warlock Sand King combination at your 4/5 is a lot more freedom in your 3 position here. You don't need hard disable from your 3 when you've got the threat of that big OE, the Sand King stun, the big AoE damage coming out from his spells and Fatal Bonds. I think you got a lot of flexibility. Man, I don't know. Is that the hero here?
It's gonna be a 5 Enchantress for PPD, but I don't know why. So the context that I like seeing 5 position Enchantress is because she's also one of the rare heroes that has an offensive dispel. But there's nothing worth dispelling. Usually you pick it up against like a... Yeah, okay.
I mean, that's the big. Well, that's the thing that the thing that everybody was in it was in the context of the Grimstroke Warlock, but that was the thing that everybody was theorycrafting earlier this morning backstage. We were talking about you're going to go against that combo. You really have to have. You have to either buy or draft purges in response to the.
But
bond.
Enchantress is unique. She's only offensive. You can't defensively purge.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. That's right.
So it's
good call.
It's very odd because Oracle can do it on both, and the Purge Satyr, I believe, can also do it on offensive and defensive, but Enchantress can only do it on enemies, and so usually it's great against like a Darkseer Ion Shell or something like that. Here, there's not really anything worth purging, and in terms of just being an irritating 5 position who can grab a creep, I don't know why that's so good with like a Pango, Wraith King, Shadow Shaman lineup.
Well, I think it's one of the things that it does is it gives you raw damage potential from the 5 position, and there aren't a lot of 5 position heroes that do that.
Yeah.
But I would hate it if it were anything other than a 5, because like all of the damage from coming out from Sirius, very, very little of it is actually right click. So Untouchable just does nothing. There's almost no reason to skill it early on.
100%, yeah, I agree. Maybe it'll be useful against the DP Ags that may come out. You can't right-click the ghosts out. But she'll just die to massive damage anyway.
DP's an amazing pick, though. That's exactly what I was asking for. I want a core. You're going to show me this 3 through 5, and that's absolutely fine. I love that Sand King Warlock in almost any 3 that doesn't suck is a great 3 through 5.
Yeah.
But I want to see at least one core that's a dedicated pusher, and the DP just checks that box better than almost anybody else.
What other box do you want to check quick? All right. Does this check the box that you did?
Not the box that I was looking for.
No, I really don't like that pick at all.
Wow. Who's safe lane? Is it DP safe lane?
I think it just depends. I think that's part of why you do this here. Part of why you pick 2 mid heroes here is that you know NIP has the last pick, and if they pick something that that would hard counter SF mid, DP can at least tread water against a lot of those heroes.
Okay, and then bans. So Arc Warden ban makes sense if you wanted to pick an SF. I don't know. I mean, like TA is still available. I don't know how experienced Fada is on that. Razor, obviously.
Oh, but Fada's TA is just fine.
Okay.
And I think that's a really good call, and that he's very confident on that hero. It's one of those things that gives. So this is going to be it looks like it's going to be a safe lane DP in the hands of StarLadder. This is a look that he showed a lot last year with VGJ Thunder.
Yeah.
They were one of the teams that leaned on safe lane Death Prophet a lot, so he knows this hero very well. But this mid matchup to me is a concern. I think this SF is a big unforced error. I think Fada is going to have a great time in that lane.
Okay, so you said DP in the safe lane is what you're thinking?
For sure, yeah.
Okay,
StarLadder DP, I think, goes safe lane.
Definitely important with DP.
What do you think?
Do you
think they switch StarLadder to mid here against TA?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
Otherwise, they would have just given it to ASD.
All right. I feel like the SF pick was way too greedy, and it's just going to get punished huge by the TA.
Yeah.
So let's say that it doesn't get punished and the greed is rewarded. Why do you go for the SF there?
I mean, it's just raw. What you need is you have 3 through 5 that has all this team fight potential, all this potential to be disruptive. You have a 2-position hero that can push. You just need a 1-position hero that's a damage engine. You need a 1-position hero that's just going to click people down. And SF can certainly do that. It's just he has to have that great lane.
Well, I'm excited to see what actually is created by these two lineups, and mostly I'm excited to see all of the beautiful numbers that are created, and we're going to be able to see them provided by our analytical partner in SAP. But now, get to ask the casters, with these two lineups, do you like what you see?
Oh, you know me, Rich. I love to see some DP in Dota 2, man. It is a wonderful hero to have because, especially since it's going to be side lane, it's a safe lane DP with a SF mid. That was definitely not the last pick that I think anybody was expecting.
Not at all, especially for the situation. I don't know. Ask me what I think about it in 30 minutes.
All right. Well, I will ask you about that as well. Okay, let's just start with the easy thing. What do you think about the Templar Assassin versus SF matchup?
I have seen an SF win this matchup.
Yes.
But it was not easy.
It had to be a very good player to pull that off. Well, he's going to start off with a decent advantage, being able to kill the enemy mid ward already.
They might actually catch him on the way back in, though. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, this is an interesting little move if they could get a fast kill on the SF.
ASD, just run back. Don't do it. Don't do
Fada.
it. Don't do it.
Bait him, Fada.
Don't do
Fada,
it.
bait him. Oh, surprise. There's going to be Raid Fire Blast, Swashbuckle, and ASD's like, what the hell kind of gank is that? Well, it's a gank that got Ace first blood. That's what that was.
ASD got baited so hard by Fada. He's like, okay, Fada's just going to walk there? Cool.
Nice. They gave Fada an extra tango to work with in lane, and immediately ate the ward, so he's going to get full HP regen off the little bit of damage that he took. They're going to be able to get the 2 bounty runes.
Oh my lord. I can't believe that worked.
Another thing to talk about is the fact that we did have this early Pango pickup, but with the Night Stalker grabbed, really need to downgrade that Pango, and so they're going to make it a 4 position, and they picked up the Enchantress as a core here. William, is there anything about the core Enchantress that you like in this game?
I mean, it's really good against like BKB carriers naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that as long as she gets like a hood or a BKB herself, I think she's going to be nigh unkillable.
Yeah. I think like when you saw the first 3 picks, like in this case, like Enchantress actually works relatively well against Night Stalker because he actually needs his physical damage now.
Yeah.
Because of his ultimate giving the extra physical damage, he's more right-click oriented than he used to be. And then, like, Sand King is magic damage, yeah, but as you said, you get 1 hood and you pretty much take away a lot of that Burrow Strike Epicenter initiation. So we're going to be doing some lane swap-rooning around. They don't want to have the Wraith King versus the Death Prophet, I presume. Want the Enchantress in that matchup.
Oh.
But we are just going to TP for TP. So they will get the matchup, I guess, that they wanted in the end.
So you actually asked me before the game who I thought would win, and I saw the Wraith King on one side.
And a Night Stalker on the other. Yeah.
We felt pretty good about NIP's chances from that moment on.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you almost had to feel better when you're like, oh, that's side lane Death Prophet? Is that really a thing? Well, I guess we're going to find out if it's a thing. There's a lot of question marks about this game, I guess.
Dude, the
Fatal Bonds, but there is going to be able to shackles onto Sylar. It feels, you know, the
Dude,
side lane DP, you just go kill her.
Yeah, this is not a thing. Because the thing about it is her heal is not that good.
Yeah.
Like it's a scaling ability. Remember when it used to be like straight up OP?
Yeah.
But it is no longer as good as it used to be. As ASD was looking for the block.
Can he get the
Go for
triple
double.
raise?
He's got
Gets
it.
one more long range raise and does manage to finish off the Templar Assassin.
ASD's a beast.
Blitz, you said that you saw an SF win this matchup before. What was the matchup? What was the players?
It was Sumail versus Mid One.
That's right.
And I believe Kyle said it was a very one-sided matchup, and it is. Don't get me wrong, but these guys, they're overplaying their situation for sure.
Yeah. Goes to show that the curse of Kyle, it can linger.
It stays forever.
He's not even on panel, but it somehow stayed into a different tournament entirely. 2-2, 2.5 minutes in, a long push coming in to this top lane. His 33 is just, he's pushing in aggressively against Night Stalker, and there's not much he can really do against him.
Right-click him without any fear of reprisal.
Yeah.
Look at this. How's this balanced?
And Night Stalker's got pretty good armor, but he's like, this is a little bit too much.
It's like, I'm
I'm
do you
getting
really wanna
hit
deal
too
with this?
often.
As now the mid matchup. So the way that you're supposed to win this matchup is just hit the TA as often as you can.
Yeah.
As they obviously see Firefly. Sox is now going to make his way here. Firefly just going to pop the Sandstorm. I mean, he can outlast Sox. He can just wait if he wants.
Yeah, that's true. They're going to try and come in. They have the Swashbuckle. Do manage to get a lucky shot, disarming ASD and slowing him down a bit. Oh, Firefly is actually going to go for the stun. Didn't think he would. There's still plenty of refraction charges on Fada, so he won't take a whole lot of damage from that bit of aggression. I figured they would just want to keep playing bottom lane with Firefly. Just keep on trying to kill the Death Prophet with your quadruple stun lineup.
Yeah, I figured so too. I will say, by the way, this Night Stalker is doing much better than expected, and this SF is doing much better than expected. And because of those two things, I could see this game being close. I do prefer NIP's lineup, and I did think it was going to go 3 games, not to backtrack or anything like that. But something people should appreciate more is, new info in the game. I can't just hold to one team.
Phase Boots in July. He's doing good on CS, but if he dies here, it's going to be tragedy. He's going to be able to get back to the tower. 33
He's
thought
okay.
about going for the dive, but decided against it.
Yeah, it wasn't fast enough.
Yeah. So he's done fine in CS, but he is having to use a lot right now when it comes to regen and such.
And ASD trying to bait out Fada, but barely just gets that up. Is going to pop the salve. Wait for the rune as PPD made his way around, but the aggression ends there.
5-minute bounties. Ace has actually been left alone at bottom lane. We'll see what he does about the bounty situation, as they are going to go on him here. Right as he used the Wraithfire Blast, is going to go for a TP away.
Look how little damage that is.
Yeah, it's so small.
It's so bad. Like, in the early levels, that's why we see her as a solo laner. You get to the point where you just get items and then it doesn't really matter as much. I mean, before it was straight up broken as an ability.
Yeah.
If you recall when you could solo kill people with that spell.
I mean, when every part of it scales, the percentage of it scales, the speed that you get is stolen, the recharge time scales, and the charges scale. Like, it's so important for you to get levels on this hero that being level 4 at 5.5 minutes isn't going to be super encouraging, but if ASD's having a great game, then maybe it's worth it. And he is 28-7 right now compared to the 23-7 of the Templar Assassin.
Realistically, getting first blooded like that doesn't slow down your own game.
Yeah.
It just kind of helps out aces. That's really where the difference comes in. The downside, though, is that, I mean, NIP, they can just hold static in their lanes, and none of their lanes should really be able to die.
No.
Like, realistically speaking, this Enchantress should be unkillable, as in July is level 4.
Yeah, that's the rough part. His CS was fine, but then he had to leave lane. Sand King took over. And now, in his first nighttime, he doesn't even have, like, at least level 3 of Void, if not level 4. He can't run around and kill things.
He can't?
And, I mean, I think, in my opinion, part of the reason you picked it up is it's a really good counter to Pango, but this is a 4-position Pango.
I mean, I don't think they can kill any lane. It's just kind of, it's rough.
All right, Firefly's going to go for it. They're going to try and kill 33. All they have to do is slow him down long enough for ASD to be able to hit the double raise. It looks like they need the triple, though. Not quite enough damage. 33 with the Nature's Attendants is healing a bit, but ASD is able to cut him off here, get the close range raise. Still not enough, but he's going to have a long range raise ready to go. That's 4 in a row for ASD that he lands to finish off 33.
That's very nice raising by him. That was actually really well done. I mean, that rotation had it go so perfectly.
Yeah.
And they still barely get the kill. I don't really know how they kill Ace, if I'm honest. I think that's the bigger issue at hand right now, is how to slow down this Wraith King.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that they've just been able to do a solo Wraith King for half his laning phase. Usually you have to protect Wraith King's laning phase, but pre-level 6. But look at him, he just farmed a neutral camp with all his skeletons.
Yeah, he just doesn't care, and Firefly is
Dire's middle tower is under
sitting here. Both the supports from NIP were able to leave. Firefly's just kind of hunting.
They want to go for the dive with 33, making the rotation across with the impetus. Sylar just going to try and boost out of the trees here. They're going to split up their targets, going for both Sylar and Tian Ming at the same time, who is going to try and give a heal over to Sylar, just doesn't do it fast enough. And there's going to be the Fatal Bonds with a Night Stalker coming in with the Dark Ascension. There is going to be one disable out. 33 is going to be his target of choice instead of Peter, but there is that 3 levels of Untouchable that's slowing down his damage quite a bit. He has another Void coming up. He's actually going to be a little bit short on mana.
Did he actually juke Ace right now? Oh my lord,
Wow, he really did. I just kind of assumed he was going to die in the trees, and now Ace is going to die. He's not going to level Reincarnation because he knows all these heroes have rotated out. Look at him, he gives him the offensive tip. Ooh.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They did kill the courier during that time, but that I mean, that should have been an easy 2 for 0.
Yeah.
And instead they lose their highest net worth hero, and ASD just continues to get bigger.
Why don't they just focus on killing the Death Prophet together, you know?
Yeah.
Sylar.
Dude.
Just one shot. That's enough to force him back. In July with his first successful rotation. He's filling in the shoes, of course, of Inflame. They swapped in, and he already showed he can compete with Inflame's Bat Rider. He needs to be able to show that he can do the same with the Night Stalker that Inflame also played about 2 weeks ago. Great game. This is going to be the Reincarnation level up. They're going to try and fight around this second life, but the Fatal Bond's already done so much damage to 33. Nature's Attendance is going to be slow to heal him up. They do have the Templar Assassin cutting across it. They could just lay into Sylar right now, bursting down. Don't let that extra damage to prolong. They do kill him, and now in July, double slowed down before he can get into the trees. A good turn from Ninjas and Pyjamas as they go for the push at Tier 1.
I mean, that was an alright idea, but they didn't have half the heroes. And Ace was a long kill.
Yeah. I mean, they had to know, like, especially once he did level Reincarnation,
Yeah.
they were going to turn and fight.
I think they're just making sort of desperate moves because they understand like how badly the laning phase went.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to do anything that they can on the map at this point. That's what it feels like anyways. Because you don't make that play if you feel like you're even in the game.
Certainly not. You just probably go abandon lane, trade Tier 2s, trade
part of
Tier
it-
1s, rather.
Looking at top is Firefly.
Another part is they just need levels, right? They still need level 6 on the Warlock.
They just need, they need
It's
so
going to be
much farm.
found.
I mean, they're a very ulti-dependent team as well as 33. Just going to chuck out.
Killer duo right here. The Disables combined with just the raw damage of 33, but the Night Stalker is going to close ranks here. Once again, the Untouchable making things very difficult to get any swings on him, especially Saksa disarms him as well, which he does with the Swashbuckle. They needed more Disables for ASD to be able to lay out the damage. Look at 33 even daring to turn around, throw some shots at Firefly.
They just don't really have Wasted Catch right now. And this is going to hurt them. This gets harder and harder.
Yeah, this has been a 3, 4, and 5 position from Team Sirius, none of which have shown any sort of game yet.
Again, not a big fan of Wraith King lately, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Not a big fan of Night Stalker.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like only one team have I seen really utilize it well into actual success, and that is
the team you're facing?
Yeah, exactly.
So they probably know how to play against Night Stalker as well?
They're abusing it. They're just like, pick good lanes. Put him in a solo matchup he can't win, and then go aggro.
Yeah.
Smart idea. Very easy to execute. Now it's NIP that have effectively won 3 lanes and can just sort of march down. And Sirius have done a pretty good job of like moving their SF around to get kills because he's really the only person that has any sort of aggressive features to him right now. But he's just, there's just so much you can ask of him, right? And part of it comes down to like this, like the SF pick worked out, but not when you decided that you were going to swerve and have it be this side lane DP.
Yeah. And as a result, like, Death Prophet's had such a bad game, Because normally you would have Death Prophet mid, and you would have some sort of safe lane hero who'd probably be a frontliner for you.
Yes.
And that would help the Death Prophet have more of a game with their exorcism. You'd have higher level Death Prophet, and you'd be pushing towers yourselves. But as a result, they can't get that momentum going.
There is some upside, though, for Sirius's lineup. I will say that I think their lineup is very good at fighting without items, or like very minimal items.
Yeah.
They're a quote-unquote cheap team in this regard. Because Death Prophet really just needs Yules to be a threat on the map, right? And Sand King just needs Blink. Night Stalker doesn't really need too much to function either. In that regard, their lineup is still like manageable in some ways. And because of that, like they have good teamfight ultis. I could see them coming back into this game, but it'll have to come down to like one big fight. And I'm not really sure how they take that big fight.
And you did say minimal items. That meant, like, you know, you actually need to get an item on your Death Prophet, who died again, and had his Yule Scepter delayed to who the hell knows when. Could be a 20-minute Yule Scepter at this rate. Saksa just slowing down the push here at this top lane. If they could really go for him, he can get off the Rolling Thunder before they actually get a silence or the Void to be able to force him to reset that roll.
And as a result, they're just going to trade out this tier 2 for
this
tier 1. Gotta love this trade.
They do throw the Serpent Wards a little bit farther north instead of trying to get vision of TP rotation. So Firefly will be able to get in here and gets a Sandstorm with the Fatal Bonds out, as well as the Exorcism Spirit Siphon slowing down 33. They just need Firefly to get the Bro Strike. But he doesn't get there fast enough. He will be able to catch the Wraith King. That'll be the reincarnation around the shrine. This is looking like a good fight for Sirius, as they should just be able to focus Ace down with the upheaval, making sure that Ace cannot escape. But don't lose Angel Eye. Angel Eye throwing out the silence, turns around, voids Fada, slowing him down just enough that Angel Eye could get away. It's scary, though, that you just got a big pickup on the Wraith King, and Fada was not too scared of going for a core like that. Do you agree with his build, by the way? The Blink first for this game? How do you know when to go Blink and when to go Deso on TA?
I mean, almost everyone goes for Deso nowadays.
Yeah.
But I think he's trying to be more of a playmaker because 33 is also sort of a core in this regard, as the Death Prophet DP, aka David Parker, is going to go down at bottom lane.
It's neither fair nor foul.
Javelin Arcane Boots for the Pengo. We've got 33 picking up a Rod of Atos soon. Wow, I like that. Good idea. With the Midas Armlet build, not the Midas Radiance that we saw multiple times.
Yeah, Kyle said upstairs he really likes that build.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't like the Radiance build. He was like, because he was talking to us, did Wraith King win all the games? We're like, yes. He's like, I bet he went that Midas Armlet. I was like, no, he went Midas Radiance.
It does feel like such a powerhouse single target build. And in a lineup like this, right, where you want to get on top of Death Prophet or SF, and just, you don't want to do that fancy damage over time slowly, but no, you want to beat them down.
I agree. You want to be that unstoppable swinging force. It's really good when you have to play against these heroes that you have to sustain off of. But like when you want to just take down, especially when you have such squishy cores on the side of Sirius, I think it's really good.
Well, another nighttime. Is Sirius ready to engage in any way? They want him to fight. They're not going to defend this tier 2. It looks like Sylar kind of thought they were going to, but somebody made the call. It's not going to happen, dude. We're not defending that. Way too hard of a fight to take. If they can maybe get Spirit Vessel, that'd be nice, but it's still just a little bit far away for this Night Stalker.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And Sylar tries to farm it out, but there's going to be the Blink Dagger Fada with the slowdown at 33. All that single target damage just makes the Death Prophet look
They definitely don't lag for damage right now.
Rough.
The Blink being able to get on top of the SF or the DP looks a lot better than just going for the straight up Deso.
And the thing is, they picked up the Death Prophet after the Enchantress, and it is good versus the Enchantress when you're ahead.
Yeah.
Because you've got Exorcism and Spirit Siphon and Crypt Swarm, all that can do damage while ignoring Untouchable, but the other way around is also true.
Dude, it looks so bad in this game right now.
It looks Every single time 33 just throws 2 shots at Death Prophet, and she's pretty much out.
StarLadder, did you have a good time this game?
Yeah. In order to play safe lane, DP some more, Wraith King's gonna lose his reincarnation here.
Well,
They're gonna try and fight. 33 in a good position to try and get some ultimates out, but Ace will die here to the epicenter as well as the Requiem of Souls. They just threw everything they had to quickly make sure they win the fight. Nice 2-man Burrow Strike. Maybe they can go for more here. So they try and go for Foddy. Does manage to get his blink away, so they're just body blocking 33 as much as possible with the urn on him, trying to take him out, manage to get the shrine. There is going to be that Fatal Bond's doing a lot of damage to the backline. The roll on in, 33 somehow still alive. He had the Exorcism right on top of him with the help of In July. They'll keep track of 33 everywhere he goes. He's so damn low. Peter actually turns around, goes for the Hex. In July finally is able to run him down. Sylar looks for more here to be able to protect his team. Fada was trying to terrorize them as much as possible with the help of Soxa, but they actually blink forward and catch the Warlock as everyone from Sirius realizing that they have to get out as the Exorcism is going to be fading soon. He has a Yule Scepter, will be able to dodge the Wraithfire Blast, but that just leaves time for Fada as well as Peter Pan Dam to catch up. And Sirius, I mean, it was a good fight, except for they were just too far behind. If they were just a little bit stronger, they kill 33 much faster. They can win the fight around the Shrine area.
Is that the Deso now on the TA? Yeah.
Yeah. It's coming in right as it's time to do Roshan. Angel Eye doesn't have the Dark Ascension. It won't be easy for him to get inside that pit. They're going to blink on into him. Peter, really good positioning there to make sure he gets the shackles from long range outside of that silence area. Now Firefly, it was a cool burrow strike, my friend, but he just kind of suicided on in.
They're just suiciding now.
One by one.
I mean, they're getting desperate because they understand, I think, since the laning phase, how far behind they've been. So they're going to get another one. Fada with the 1, 2, 3.
All right, back to Roshan.
Dude, ASD's been a real beast this game. I will say, I don't think this was like a really simple SF game. He's done a very good job.
6-1 and 2.
It's just the rest of the lanes went so horrendously wrong.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is I'm not really sure how they expected them to go right. I don't know what the upside of their laning phase is supposed to look like, especially with the way that NIP made the hard adjustments.
Yeah.
Like making the Pango the 4 and having 33 play the offlaner.
Everything that I really... They had to have thought that either Pango was the core.
Yeah, because
they were dealing with an Enchantress support.
So then they get SF versus Pango versus NS 1-on-1.
Yeah,
Which
and that's you're gonna win.
Yeah.
And then Enchantress is not going to be able to do a ton in a defensive, in an aggressive tri-lane. I don't know. Peter,
Pick off whoever you can.
Get whatever kills you can and just commit as many ultimates as you can as well. But you can roll on through here. If Soxa wants to commit Rolling Thunder to just try and pick up a bounty rune, I'd be okay with that. Yeah, just bounce on in, pick up that bounty.
Oh my word. Didn't even bother popping the Greaves for his homie.
Yeah, he's like, not gonna save you. I guess SF with Guardian Greaves can be kind of a frontline hero for you. For the Death Prophet, but not good enough.
The Death Prophet needs so many items right now. Even if he gets eggs at this point, it doesn't help his survivability. He needs a Shiva's minimum. A Ghost Scepter would be sick this game.
Oh yeah, that would help against, you say the armor against the physical damage, but the Ghost Scepter would help protect you against the Enchantress as well.
Yeah,
you think he should just go for it now?
I think he sort of needs the eggs because he needs damage.
Yeah.
Like he probably needs to build towards the later end of the game anyways. There's just no easy solutions here. If I'm just like being blunt. Like everything that you go for, I can make an argument against at this point because of how far behind they are.
Yeah.
I'd say this game though is like, it's still 80-20, 75-25.
Firefly. Oh, that wasn't really the blink plays that he wanted. Fortunately, he didn't get hit by the dust.
They can't see in the sand.
Why can't they?
It confuses them.
It's not like they have eyes. It's not like they have eyeballs.
What are you talking about?
Is it because the sand gets in their eye sockets?
They've got eyes. How would they see where they're going otherwise?
I mean, they don't have eyeballs. What is going on? Firefly's just playing some putt-putt games with them right now.
He's trying to delay the game however he can.
Yeah. He's going to keep on trying to cut the waves bottom. You could see SF is doing something.
The thing about it is, I'm not sure
top.
if they win late game.
I don't think they do.
So
Dude, there's no way they do. With the Templar Assassin 25, there's no way they win late game.
I could see a world in which this DP just goes off.
Hard disagree.
Nah. Pull up the win probability. I think it's only like 80-20, 75-25. What is it?
I mean, it wouldn't
Nice.
surprise me if it's, yeah.
It's 75-25.
Yeah.
It's not terrible.
But I mean, I think the comeback for Sirius is like somehow them winning 2 fights in a row right now.
Yeah, I think so
Take
too.
it over the game. not like 30 minutes from now. Let go.
NIP would have, and that's the thing about Dota, is that people do make mistakes. NIP would have to make the massive error at this point.
Yeah.
It's not really in Sirius's control, which is when the game feels really bad. You know, when it no longer relies on like you to be able to make plays, because you can't really.
You got a Death Prophet, and they've only taken a single tower.
Yeah. Plus, there's a BKB now on this, this TA, which makes life even harder. So
Yeah.
it really just does come down to NIP doing some sort of weird split up maneuver. Like, it has to be something like that. Even PPD's almost got himself an axe. Like, that's when you know.
The most notorious hard 6 position in Dota.
Oh my.
Oh, okay, that's a golem. It's a golem that's dead. But it was a golem. Firefly will be able to blink away. And they're going to go back in here. Not allowing that Pango to be able to get off his Rolling Thunder. They're going to be able to get the 2-man Burrow Strike, keep the silence on these heroes as best as possible. There is a lot of damage coming out from 33. It's on Angel Eyeball. They're controlling up ASD, but unfortunately lived long enough to be able to get one more raise off. A big AoE explosion does enough damage to be able to bring down the 2, but they both have a second life, and he missed the Burrow Strike.
Oh, no.
He doesn't hit Ace. Fado wasn't alive yet.
Dude, that would have been a kill.
That would have been a kill.
That is.
Ace was definitely getting low enough for that.
Show me Ace's face cam. Okay, he didn't react to it. I would have laughed. Maybe it was too late.
Well,
Oh, boy.
on the plus side, Siler just got 400 more gold closer to his Aghanims.
That was very well done by PPD, by the way. Team fight positioning-wise. Made that fight really easy once he got the wards on top of the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah.
I mean, you could kind of see it, though. Like, Siler does do a lot of damage. Oh,
Yeah.
Firefly just poked through. Dude.
Oh boy, I was gonna say, you sandstormed that one, man. Don't chance those impetus shots.
All right, I'm okay with it.
Manta soon for ASD. Maybe that'll help him get rid of the disarm, help him maybe get out of Serpent Ward traps.
The problem is he doesn't really want to get a BKB. I kind
Get
of
rid of the
feel like he
slow.
needs one, but at the same time he doesn't. I don't know. It's just not an easy position to be in at this point.
Yeah, if he can Manta to deal with the spells, this Manta will give him better damage and better armor against the physical damage that's coming his way.
Plus, the Wraith King stun is very easy to dodge.
Yeah.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And he needs more HP. But he also needs more armor cap.
I like how I listed every ability that's like the Manta's going to be good for except for the best one. Wraith Fire Blast.
Dude, that was the easiest one.
That
That's
was
why
the
you didn't
easiest
list
choice.
it. 'Cause you just figured he knew
Yeah, that's
already.
true. I figured the audience is smart.
You have to assume.
You're smart, chat, right? We smart?
Of course they are.
Sox are trying to do some split pushing shenanigans, but this is the power of Night Stalker versus Pango. You don't have a game anymore.
No.
Fought a fast kill onto Tianming, not enough. He needs to 3-shot the supports instead of 2-shot them.
Also, this Warlock had the sickest positioning in the team fight. In the previous one, he was able to get to the high ground, hold the pivot around the area. It's just like, once he uses rock, that was his only contribution. Plus his rock dies in like 2 seconds. That's another benefit of Ace's item build,
Bottom tower
is that he just destroys the rock.
Seems like a lot of times the sustain of Nature's Attendance just outdoes the Fatal Bonds damage as well.
structures are fortified.
Trying to get their second tower of the game. Sirius is split pushing bottom lane, but
There's an Ags now on the DP. Dude, I can definitely see like
they can get this pick off.
PPD's invis though.
Yeah.
Oh.
if the TA somehow shows himself just a little bit, they want to be able to commit for this one. The epicenter is coming out. They're going to blink it, bro. They didn't actually see the Sand King. They're going to try and quickly take him out, but the BKB goes down. Now he turns, kills Firefly. They do at least get the Shadow Shaman, but they had a Serpent Ward trap once again from Peter Pandam that catches the SF.
Yo, did they really think that was going to work?
Yeah, I mean, they have one stun to kill a BKB hero.
Yeah, that was crazy. I'm not insane here, right? That was very unlikely.
That was, I think it was like...
I mean, they had to dive him under tower. The thing is, PPD's presence didn't even change the probability of that.
No.
That's the crazy part, is that he was there invis, and it still didn't change how the attempt, I think, was supposed to look in an ideal world.
He, like, slowed down the Night Stalker, but Night Stalker doesn't provide a stun. It doesn't stop him from getting off Refraction.
He just popped Refraction BKB and sort of shrugged it off. I think it's simply because, again, reiterating it for the 18th time, they are so far behind that they just feel like they have to go for whatever.
Yeah.
But situations like that aren't making it easier for you to come back, guys.
You think they're getting a little bit too impatient?
Yeah. Well, obviously, because they think that this is their only move, right? So they make it. The thing about Dota is you can just sit inside your base and like wait for the game to be over.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you can also like be active and try to create something on the map. Because if you get the kill there, you get the tower as well, right?
Maybe the best move is no move at all.
That's not true. Hard disagree.
Blink Dagger, Night Stalker right now. I guess he wants to get on top of the Shadow Shaman, and well, the silence will help against 33s. You could see that damage on Sylar is not comfortable for him.
Flee, friends.
Run away, run away. Save your life. Roshan in 1 minute. Can you give up Roshan?
They probably don't want to, if I'm honest here.
I love how the give up Roshan question is always like, you have a 10% chance to win or you have an 8% chance to win. Those are your two options. They're going to try and roll in. They will be able to nail Sylar first, but quickly the Dispel takes away that Ghost Scepter, rolling back in with that Rolling Thunder, nailing onto 2. There is no damage coming out from the side of Sirius. They killed Peter Pandam.
Dude, that rock did not help.
No.
Let me just say. It clipped like one tail end of a hero. Sylar is like, well, I mean, he even went for the Ghost Scepter like I advocated.
Yeah.
I'm glad that my suggestion was...
And doesn't that just get dispelled by Enchantress?
Yeah. And trust me, it didn't help him at all. He died in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Radiant are scanning.
They're so far behind.
All right, Nip. Roll it up, hit the tier 3.
And we answer that burning question for everybody involved. What would a side lane Sylar DP look like?
You wanted to know. Now you've got your answer. It did not look good. Nip, tier 3, melee racks, bounties, Roshan. The world is their oyster. There's so many things to do right now.
Grab them all.
Get it all.
Take the bounty runes.
Radiant's top shrine.
That difference in bounty runes is so big.
Oh yeah, when a team wins the game in like the first 20 minutes, but they, you know, like obviously they can't like end the game actually, so they just control the map and get bounty runes. And then JJ throws up the difference in bounty rune net worth, and it just always makes me feel so bad.
Fada is so farmed. All Fada haters. He's turned it around.
Wraith King. Ace and Saksa playing on sort of that high ground area just to make sure that Sirius couldn't get there in time to be able to interrupt the
Oh no.
Aegis
Fada got stuck
grab
with
for Fada.
That's not on him though, guys.
Yep. TP's down to bottom lane. Has a nullifier. He's going to go the Shana Doom build.
Shout
Orchid
out to
nullifier.
OD Pixel for pointing that term is. They're going to go.
Go to the back line. Try and catch Peter and decide against it. Instead, they're going to go for Ace. Life number 1. Oh, nice Yules there, stopping out the Rolling Thunder. Can they get the silence follow-up? They do. Manage to get that now, trying to get the second life. Oh, God!
No.
Missed Burrow Strike. No damage once again on a Wraith King who managed to blink away on his second life.
You know what they're going to do, right? They're going to wait like 10 seconds and then just fight Sirius.
Yeah. And that's why Sirius immediately needs to try and run in, make use of this exorcism timing, see if they can actually catch 33. The Rolling Thunder's going to do a lot. They managed to get off the cheese. 33 stays alive. The AoE damage coming out from ASD almost being enough. 33 still being chased through all of this, but a Wraith Fire Blast will allow 33 to disengage. Now turn back on a Sylar. ASD will help them kill Peter Pan. Damn, here comes Firefly though. He can come in with a Burrow Strike? No, because he already used it. So it's just an Epicenter that did nothing. It did so little.
You sound so sad.
And ASD's dead.
Get out of there,
ASD. I'll call it for you here. 8, 3, and 5 is what you're going to end this game on. That last death doesn't matter. Doesn't count. You did good, son.
You did good.
This was not the game that you were going to win.
Heard of me?
Oh, nice. Get it, Ace. The 2-time skeleton spawn after you win a team fight, ready to go high ground. Let's watch the buildings die.
Get him.
Oh, he only has 4 charges, though.
Dang it. He'll pop the guys, though. Look at him. The dudes are here.
The homies. The Skelly Bros are out in force.
They really came to party.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
It's like the Beastie Boys said.
I can't believe Sirius is not calling me.
Well, Nip fought to the bitter end last game.
Radiant's bottom
They decide they're going to do the same. Is jump in. All right, there's your nullifier, making sure so Sylar can't use his Ghost Scepter or his Yule Scepter.
Bang, bang.
And now the GG is called.
Radiant's bottom.
So that is every single game of this tournament has gone to game 3.
No difference here.
Ninjas and Pyjamas take it in game 2 after what was a very strong game 1 showing from Team Sirius. Just really high execution.
Yes.
It goes to show, you know, I always feel good whenever I see a team bounce back from getting thrashed like that, especially the execution aspect and changing up their game in draft and just going, all right, we got outplayed, sure, but we're still a good enough team. We can take these guys. And do so looking very good. I mean, they had this game won by, I mean, what would you say? 10 minutes, 15 minutes? Felt like it was pretty secured.
3.5.
3.5. The win percentage, the win percentage didn't dip down that much at 3.5 minutes. But I would say by 15 minutes, it was already in the 70% category.
Real talk, if you were like really interested in these teams, like you could have just, and you were like, man, I really want to see a game 3. After like 4.5 minutes in the future, I'll just tell you, like, go take your.
This team has won. Go,
if you need a shower
you know,
or something like that, you need to grab a bite to eat, and you don't want to miss any of the action.
You play a game of Dota yourself.
Yeah, trust me, that the side lanes went so bad. I mean, Night Stalker 1-on-1 against Enchantress. He was like, I saw a poor Injuli. He's hiding in the trees while 33 is actually just hitting him under his tower.
Yeah.
And he's just like, is this supposed to be legal? Like.
He's like, I've got 5 armor. I can tank some hits. 20 hits later, he's like, oh.
Yeah, and then the bottom, when Sylar's just watching Ace farm, and he's like, the hell is this? Like,
yeah, it's a rough time. So, game 1 and game 2, very one-sided. What do we need to change? I'm not going to ask Blitz that question because we have plenty to talk about for the panel, I'm sure. Let's see what they have to say.
In esports, we are still at the beginning, and giving context to data is super complex. Technology and stats and insights can really help doing that.